Can scalp micropigmentation really compete with hair transplants? In this video, I'll break it down for you. Hi, I'm Ruben Diaz, Master Artist at Edge Scalp Ink in Silver Spring, Maryland. To learn more about the SMP process, head to the playlist linked below. Scalp micropigmentation versus hair transplants. What's the difference? Well, there's a pretty huge difference. Scalp micropigmentation, we're putting dots of pigment into your head, and it's kind of like a tattoo. It's similar, but it's also different. And so it's minimally invasive. You can go back to work the same day. You don't have to take off of work. If you're with the right artist, you're gonna get results from the first day. It looks spectacular. The only side effect, I guess, would be, there's two side effects: redness and confidence. The redness goes away, but the confidence doesn't. So hair transplants, they're a little more complicated. They're a surgical process that hair follicles are taken out from the back of your head, either through a strip scar, which is an FUT, or punch holes, which is an FUE. And then they're put wherever you want them to be put. Usually they're put here in this area or back here. I've seen them put here. I've seen chest hair put on beards to thicken the beard. I've seen it all. Now, of course, there's 100% some downtime when it comes to hair transplants. If you look online, the first couple weeks looks pretty crazy. How your skin is gonna look. It looks like you went through a pretty serious surgery. And it could take 6 months to a year to see any results. We have a lot of clients that come in that have had hair transplants that get SMP done with us, and the SMP just makes the transplant look spectacular. They go really well hand in hand together. But if you want quick results without having to take off work, go with the SMP route. All right, so what are the benefits of SMP? So scalp micropigmentation looks hyper realistic, looks spectacular when done right. A lot of people that wear Topic, which is the hair fibers, they come in and say, I'm tired of the hair fibers. They run down my face when it rains or when I sweat, it cakes up, it's hard to take off. SMP, you get it done, and there's nothing you have to do. I mean, the main thing I have to do with my scalp micropigmentation is I gotta maintain my hair. I gotta keep my hair shorter. So what happens is, if I let my hair grow, it'll get patchy, and the areas with the most hair will get darker, and then the SMP area will stay lighter. That's about it. The benefits are you get results right away. You do them over usually around 3 treatments, and there's barely any maintenance. I mean, it's maybe in 3 to 5 years you might need a touch-up, but I've had mine for about 6 years now, and I haven't had a touch-up, and I think it looks even better. So another benefit is that SMP is great to hide scars. Any scars that you have on your head, we do a lot of scar camouflaging when it comes to FUEs or FUT transplants, but any scar can get covered. If you have a little bald spot, we can cover that up. We've had people with alopecia areata. They have bald spots that appear and reappear and disappear, and then, we kind of manage those. So sky's the limit. If it's on your head and you need some density, scalp micropigmentation is the answer. So what are the downsides to scalp micropigmentation? So SMP does have its limits. So for instance, for me, I have SMP in this area right here. I have to maintain the look by keeping my hair a certain length. If I shave my head, I can go probably 7 days without having to do anything. Shaving my head, it takes extra time to do it, so I don't do it as frequently. If I do 0 on clippers, that'll buy me maybe 2 or 3 days before, I have to cut it again. So that's the downside, very minimal. I mean, I would be shaving my head anyways if I didn't have SMP. If you have long hair, the longer the hair, the darker the SMP pigment has to be effective at hiding the thinning areas. Now, what they don't tell you is that if you go too dark and then one day you have to shave your head because you lost so much more hair, the pigment, if done too dark, it's not going to match and it's not going to look good with a shaved head. So, it's something to ask your artist, and I think they should be forthcoming with that. And I always tell all my clients when they have longer hair that this is what could happen. Generally, women have no problem with that because most women don't shave their heads and they don't need to, just because of the pattern that they have when they're thinning. But men, I think especially when they have longer hair, I let them know because, if they start thinning more, they're gonna have to shave and then they're gonna end up in a bad situation. So what are the benefits of a hair transplant? So a hair transplant, when done correctly, looks great. I mean, you'll have longer hair, you can grow that hair out. The transplanted hair will not fall out. And usually, especially if done with a FUE, which is the punch holes that they do in the back, which are dots as opposed to one thick strip scar, that kind of disappears back there, and it's not as prominent as the actual FUT strip scar that's taken off the back. You can't grow SMP but you can grow hair transplant. What are the downsides of a hair transplant? It's an invasive process and there's a lot of downtime. Recovery time is needed and it might not work. I mean, you have to wait sometimes 6, 8, 12 months to see if it actually took. The other thing is it's much more expensive, at least $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 much more expensive than scalp micropigmentation. You don't get immediate results either, and you end up with unsightly scars. The FUE scars are not that bad because they look like dots in the back, but if you get the strip scar, that's very difficult to hide. The main thing that they tell you is, oh yeah, we're gonna give you the strip scar, but then your hair is gonna grow out and you can kind of cover it with your hair because your hair is gonna be longer. But what happens is if that hair doesn't grow out well, you're gonna have to shave your head to make everything look good, and then boom, there goes the strip scar. I would know because we end up covering a lot of the scars here with SMP. We add density to their hair transplant because the hair transplant was very sparse. So, a lot of them say, hey, I wish I would have done SMP first.